Joining us now, Democratic Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin, who represents the state of Michigan in the House, but is running right now for a seat in the Senate. Thank you so much for joining us. What is the lesson to take away from this victory?
I mean, I think the lesson is that people do not like when you take away their rights to control their own family planning. They don't like it. They don't like having a right and having it taken away. And while, Roe v. Wade was sort of the big thing we were all focusing on, the Republicans have not stopped trying to ban abortion and ban sort of every type of family planning from beginning to end since Roe was overturned. And I think what happened in Alabama was awesome. It was amazing because it demonstrated that, we watch what you do. We are watching your actions. And if you're trying to take something away from someone, you're going to pay for that at the polls. And that's what we saw yesterday.
What is the response you're getting in your home state?
I mean, look, I think in Michigan, we were a full ban state. So when Roe was overturned, we were looking over this cliff. We mobilized, we got 800,000 signatures, and we codified Roe in our Constitution in 2022. And so, frankly, I think a lot of folks were thinking, okay, we're good, right? Michigan did its job. We're not good. Roe was just the beginning. And whether it's going after IVF and personhood for embryos, whether it's going after mifepristone, the drugs that you need to carry out an abortion, 50% of all abortions are use mifepristone, whether it's going after a woman's right to travel for an abortion, all these things. It's an unrelenting attack on this right, and people are done with it. It's not even partisan. In Michigan, I can't tell you how many pro-life women especially come up to me and they say, look, I couldn't personally choose to get an abortion, but I did have a miscarriage. I did have a DNC. I had to have that procedure so I could go on and have kids. And so a woman's right in her own way, should be hers. And so I think that that you have to watch what these guys, and a lot of them are guys on the Republican side, are doing. They may say that they're all good with IVF, but if they sponsor bills and vote on it in a way that gets rid of IVF, it doesn't matter what their talking points are. Actions speak louder than words.
I'm sure you watched the mifepristone arguments in the Supreme Court yesterday, after which I had the attorney for the group suing to get mifepristone rolled back, Erin Hawley, on. I asked her about whether this was a step in the direction of trying to outlaw abortion nationwide. Here's what she said. Is the goal of this litigation to take us one step closer to banning abortion access nationwide?
No. At issue before the Supreme Court is whether or not, when women choose to take abortion drugs, they do so with the protections that until very recently the FDA said was both necessary and minimally burdensome.
I also asked her about the Comstock Act and this talk that maybe the Comstock Act wouldn't just be used to ban the mailing of abortion pills, but the mailing of any equipment that could be used for an abortion. I've heard a lot of talk about that among groups about the Trump administration, if they're back in power, trying to use that. What is your sense? What are you telling voters about what could be to come?
What I'm telling them is exactly what Donald Trump is saying aloud, which is he's considering a nationwide ban. What I'm telling them is that as a member of Congress under a Republican Congress this year, I voted alone in the past year 15 times on some sort of bill that would cut women's access to abortion. They have not stopped. And no matter what they say, now that they realize it's unpopular, what they do is more important. Watch what they do. And I'm sorry, if you believe that a woman has the right to choose, then an FDA-approved drug should be good enough for you, and you wouldn't have a lawsuit pursuing that. If you thought it was okay for women to, do family planning and IVF, then you wouldn't say that an embryo is a person. I'm sorry. Watch what they do, not what they say, because they know now it's politically unpopular. So they're trying to mealy-mouth their way through it. No, watch what they do.
Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin, thank you very much.
Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.